How strong is Freddy Fazbear? Now, Freddy Fazbear is pretty downplayed, in my opinion, throughout power scaling because he is an animatronic after all, and people think that, yeah, they're just wall level. But I'm here to put in light on how strong these characters really are. And I mean, really are. Freddy at a low ball would be wall level very casually at that because of the amount of stuff of him dismembering humans and stuff like that. And now let's get into the mid ends of this franchise and this character. Let's start with the Twisted Ones. Now, the Twisted Ones have a plethora of feats, so I'll explain them. For instance, Twisted Freddy was able to break through a wall to a small building level yield. But this is pretty downplayed in my opinion because people don't apply the fact that Nightmare Freddy no-selled that amount of energy hitting him because of Newton's third law. AKA, with every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So, him breaking this means that he no-selled that amount of energy at him as well. Thus, we should give him a 10 times multiplier, which would bump his durability all the way to building plus level. Almost large building level. And Freddy, as well as the rest of the gang, was able to beat the crap out of all of them. So, this should merit large building level scaling for Freddy. And this is consistent because in the week before, we obviously get the 1.21 gigawatts scaling, but we also need to apply some other things to increase this feat to make it more impressive than it already is. For example, the fact that the animatronics no-sell this amount of energy going in them. So, if we were just taking this value of 1.21 gigawatts and convert it to joules, which would be 1.21 gigajoules worth of energy. And since they no-selled it on both their shells and their endoskeletons, their durability would get all the way to large building level. But large building level isn't the cap of the scaling because there are still more things we need to cover. The 1.21 gigawatts feat again. So there are a lot of things we can actually do for this. So we also should take into account that they've been absorbing this through an entire week. And since this amount of energy was coming from a generator, which generators normally produce energy per second, which means if we account for this value being pumped through the entire building per second through an entire week, this should merit town to large town level ranges, with lower ends being into those multi-city block level ranges. And honestly, multi-city block is actually pretty consistent for this character. For example, the Twisted Ones are able to create a sinkhole all together to create a sinkhole, which had sucked down a house which is about 2 stories and another pizzeria which is slightly bigger than the original. So this should be a magnitude 6 earthquake based on everything we've gone through, and again the animatronics are able to destroy them. So, multi-city block and small town level is actually pretty consistent. Now, let's get into the whole toy animatronic scaling. And you're probably thinking, what do I mean by the toy animatronic scaling? Well, the toy animatronics have exoskeletons that are stronger than the OG's endoskeletons. So, which means they should upscale the whole 1.21 gigawatts feat, which means that they should get all the way to multi-city block level or city block level at a low end. So, why am I bringing this up? Well, in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie, spoilers if you haven't watched it, these animatronics got destroyed by the classics. So, yeah, doing that amount of scaling, which means they are stronger than their own exoskeleton, very much so. So they should get deeper into the multi-city block levels, maybe all the way to town level. But again, that's only scratching the surface. Now let's get into soul scaling. Now, soul scaling is pretty, how do I say this? Extremely confusing. So, I'll try to be as good as I can. So anyways, souls in the Five Nights at Freddy's universe, with enough emotion, can create very big things, such as small containers, make objects float, and even create small little pocket universes that have their own space-times and stars. But let's go into the smaller ones. Souls in the Five Nights at Freddy's universe are connected to the 0-point field. 0-point energy is also connected by the 0-point field. Souls should probably scale to 0-point energy, because either A, they're made from it, or B, they should just scale to it because they're connected to the same thing that encompasses 0-point energy. So, I'll explain how powerful 0-point energy is. 0-point energy with the mass of a light bulb can boil all of Earth's ocean. This scales all the way to multi-continental. So if we apply the difference between Freddy's weight and a light bulb, this should merit small planetaries worth of energy. And Freddy's casually, producing that energy. I don't think he can withstand it, but if you do think so, then it will just get higher into small planetary, maybe all the way to planetary. But that is quite a reach in my opinion. And also, souls with enough energy from emotions can create small little pocket realities with starry backgrounds and places, people, all of that stuff. Now, this should either be a multi-solar system level feat all the way to Universal Plus. And again, Freddy should scale to this. And he should also probably be a bit stronger than the other animatronics from his pizzeria, because they cower and hide once they see him or are aware of his presence. So yeah, that is why he is superior to them. So that is Freddy scaling. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment what you want me to scale next. See you next time, and see you on the other side.